Hello, my name is Cyan VA, and welcome to episode 2 of Sleepypastas. Today we will be reading the Pokepasta, Disabled. So kick back, relax, turn off the lights, and let's get into Disabled. When it comes to Pokemon, my favorites have to be Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff. When I was a little girl, I dreamed of having a puffy Jigglypuff. I even used to have a bunch of Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff plushies. They would surround my pillow, and each night I would cuddle with a different one, just to make sure they each got some love. Anytime my Jigglypuff or Wigglytuff used Sing, I would hum a little tune with them, thinking it made my chances better for the opposing Pokemon to fall asleep. I was very naive back then, but it was blissful innocence, to be honest. Hell, I even played Jigglypuff in the Brawl games. I didn't care if anyone else didn't like her. I did. So when I got my hands on Pokemon Soul Silver when it first came out, of course I made it my mini-mission to find a Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff. I went through the game waiting for Puffs and Tuffs to show up. I encountered the occasional trainer with a Puff or a Tuff, but I soon found out that Jigglypuff could only be caught in one set area, which I later found out to be the game's Safari Zone, and Wigglytuffs could not be found in the wild at all. At that point, Safari Zone was not active for me, so I was stuck waiting a little while longer to capture my beloved Puff. After a week or so of battling and schoolwork, Safari Zone was finally available. I went there once and I had a chance to go in and went on a hunt for Jigglypuff, and of course, it was not easy. I ran into maybe 8 the first trip and lost all 8 of them. I remember calling my DS Lite a cheater. Next day though, I finally caught my first Jigglypuff. I happily named her June and put her in my party ASAP. It took some time to get her up to the level of the rest of my team, but well worth it for me. I even kept her sing since it felt so nostalgic to hear that lovely tune again. Sadly, school got busy for me for a while, so I was forced to put my game on hold, but once I got my free time back, I went right back to work, making sure all my Pokemon loved me, especially my June. But I still didn't have my Wigglytuff. I didn't want to lose June, so I thought about getting an already evolved Wigglytuff, since Safari Zone has proven its dislike of me. So, I set a call out on the wireless trade asking for a Wigglytuff. Any gender and any level. I wasn't picky at the time, but now I wish I had been picky. In exchange for a new Wigglytuff, I put out a wonderfully bred Totodile that had some killer moves, even for a level 6. I waited for hours, thinking someone would see the quality right away and send a trade. I waited days. Maybe someone would just happen to want a Totodile to raise. Nearly 2 weeks had passed, and still no response. I had already given up hope and was ready to use a Moonstone on June. I ended up checking one last time to make sure, and I wanted to get my Totodile back somehow, if no one was going to take him. But it didn't send me to the main menu for wireless trading. Instead, I got the dramatic evolving music and a Pokeball came flying from the top of the screen to the bottom. Finally, I got my Wigglytuff. I quickly logged out to see my new friend, a female Wigglytuff, level 26. The name was a bit odd though. Disabled, in all caps. I didn't get why someone would name a Wigglytuff that, but I had seen stranger names for Pokemon. I just wish I could have changed it, but for some reason, you could never change the name of a traded Pokemon. Its information was a bit odd, but I was never one of those kinds of details or learning the meaning behind those details. Gloomy nature, and it only knew one move. Sing. I didn't recall ever seeing Gloomy before, but I had seen Timid, so I figured if they can be shy, they can be sad too. Though, you would have to wonder what Pokemon would be Gloomy, and the fact that it only knew Sing did bug me. It would have been nice if its previous trainer left some more moves, but I had some nice TMs to try on it anyway. Despite the off information, I was eager to try out the Wigglytuff in battle. I checked my character's bag and picked the best TM I was almost sure would work. I ended up picking Hidden Power, Swagger, and Explosion. I headed over to the nearest patch of grass and walked around aimlessly looking for a fight. The battle music came on and the Pokemon was a Ponyta. I picked Fight and used Sing, just to make Wigglytuff's first fight easy. It failed. Well, I knew Sing didn't always work, so I didn't think anything of it. Ponyta used Tail Whip. It was cute, but only lowered my defense. My turn again, so I used Hidden Power just to see if I was in the right spot for it. I wasn't, since I barely made a nick in Ponyta's HP. It used Tail Whip again. I was a higher level, so I figured the game was just trying to lower my defense so the Ponyta could damage it. This time, I tried Sing again. The screen acted like it had used Sing, but there was no sound. Sing was disabled. I just stared at my screen. How was Sing disabled? Was this a stupid trick? I let Ponyta use Tail Whip again, but then Wigglytuff shook a bit, like it was suffering from an effect. I thought I saw a sprite change, but then I realized I probably got a glitched Pokemon. I cussed a bit, pissed that I lost a good Pokemon to a hacked one. I didn't want this one messing with my game, so I picked Run. Disabled wants to fight. You could not leave the battle. Oh, come on, I remember saying out loud. I kept thinking that it was probably about to ruin my game. I thought Ponyta was about to attack this turn, but it didn't. Its little sprite shook like it was poisoned. Ponyta was frozen in fear. It might not attack. This was getting too weird. I tried to pick Run again, but another text came up. Disabled wants to fight. You cannot leave the battle. I didn't even see if the text was different this time. I was able to pick another option. I couldn't run, so I fought. I tried Hidden Power again. Hidden Power was disabled. I had to pick another one. I tried Swagger. Swagger was disabled. What was doing this to my Pokemon's moves? All these questions popped up into my head one after another. What did that guy who gave me this Wigglytuff do? I have to escape. I can't keep this Pokemon. I knew I could just turn the game off, but I wanted to see what was happening. I wanted to know what was wrong with my Wigglytuff. I was stuck with only two options, Sing and Explosion. Sing was already disabled from past attempts, so I could only use Explosion. That move would take out Wigglytuff and Ponyta, ending the battle. I thought maybe it was a good thing. Explosion was disabled. I didn't even have a chance to react before more text came up. Disabled tried using Sing. Sing was disabled. It was doing it on its own. The sprite started shaking a bit, more than before. More obviously. Ponyta is frozen in fear. It can no longer escape from battle. I felt my heart start to pound. Maybe this is what Ponyta was feeling at the time. Disabled, try using Sing. Sing was disabled. Each time the text passed, Wigglytuff's sprite turned darker and darker. Disable used Struggle. I watched in horror as the Wigglytuff used Struggle. Like it had no other moves to use. Most of the time it didn't even hit Ponyta. Just Wigglytuff, like it was hurting itself. The Ponyta finally fled from the battle, and the sequence ended. I wish I could have gone with it, since Wigglytuff was first in my party. It was walking along with me on screen. Its color looked dirty, and red could be seen on it. I turned my character to talk to it. It didn't say anything to me. I tried again, becoming strangely desperate to figure out what was happening to the Wigglytuff I was so joyed to finally have. I just wanted to sing. I wasn't sure who was talking. Maybe it was a voiceover, I thought. I talked to it again. Why? Why can't I sing? Just sing. Sing. Each time I spoke to it, its cry grew softer and softer, like it was a toy breaking. I began to feel bad for Wigglytuff and headed back to the city to heal it. It was the least I could do before I turned my game off, taking it back to the time when I just barely got it, before I used it. Sadly, we didn't get far. We encountered another Pokemon battle, another Ponyta. I picked Run, but just like last time. Disabled wants to fight. You cannot escape the battle. No one had time to react to what happened during this fight. Ponyta was too slow for some reason and was stuck in battle. The options menu didn't come up for me. Disabled tried to use Sing. Sing, 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 sing. There was so much text it moved off the box itself. It was finally glitching out, I thought. Disabled, you struggle. It struggled, and struggled, and struggled, and struggled, and struggled, and struggled. With each struggle, Wigglytuff took more and more damage, though this time the wild Ponyta got hit more this time too. The wild Ponyta fled. I thought the fight was over, but the battle screen stayed up. I began mashing the buttons, thinking maybe it was going to talk again, and I needed to press A or B. Screen faded and changed to the evolving screen. I couldn't speak. My heart sank and my eyes filled with water. The once normal Wigglytuff sprite was faded. Its left ear was torn off. A red pixel covered its broken end. Its tired eyes were pitch black, with only a red dot to show its pupils. Even its mouth had red coming from it, like blood was dripping out. Why can't I sing? Why? Why? Can you sing? Yes or no? I picked no. I just wanted this to end. You're lying. You can sing. Give me your sing. Yes or no? I hit no about 4 to 5 times. Sing. Sing. The speakers let out a high-pitched screech, making me drop my DS to get it away. I ran out of the room and called a friend. I couldn't touch the game after that. My friend came over, seeing as I could not hide the panic I was feeling. She laughed at me, but I told her I wasn't touching the game. She picked it up for me and looked at it, shaking her head as she turned it off and closed it. She handed it back to me. I think you broke it, she told me, leaving my room and heading for the living room. She stayed with me for the rest of the day and the night. I couldn't get that image out of my head. The next morning, my friend was sitting next to me. I put the Wigglytuff up for trade. I found someone that was offering a Cyndaquil in exchange for a Wigglytuff. I hit the button as hard as I could, wanting it to hurry up. The trade went through. I still have that Cyndaquil. Whoever had him named him Hurry. Well, that was Disabled. Honestly, a really good story, but like every other creepypasta that I've ever read, it's grammatically a nightmare. I suggest giving it a read yourself whenever you have the time. But until then, please feel free to check out my Patreon. It supports the channel, and it would be cool if you did. But until then, I will see you guys in the next episode of Sleepypastas.